Hello, gentlemen. So, this is interesting. So, as you've hopefully seen from your email announcements, we are going to be closed on campus for the next 2 weeks. But that does not mean that this is extra vacation, spring break 2.0 or 1.0. Because spring break is later. The point is that we will need to be still engaging in consistent learning activities in order to best utilize our time, hopefully, so that by the end of the next 2 weeks we can be back on campus. And if not, well, then we're settling in for the long haul. What I'd like to do for you today is have a little bit of an intro, kind of like walking you through some of my plans with this and some of the materials that I've given to you, because some of you would prefer to hear it with the voice and not just see it with a bunch of words on a page. Helping me here today is Heimdall, because I'm like, well, if I'm stuck at home, then it's pretty nice to have a snack visit. But he is being very splores and kind of distracting, and I'm worried he's going to hit my keys when I'm not paying attention. So I may put him back, but for the moment, he'll be here to help me out. Okay, so what I'd like to do, I've got 5 main points I want to cover. Hopefully it won't take too much time, but you know how tangents go. First off, for those of you who have not yet read my updates, first off, read my email updates or my Schoology updates. They're going to be very, very important. But as I've mentioned, this is definitely very interesting. Some of you, I said, yeah, this is fine. This is what happened with SARS in 2003. We're now beyond that. And this did not happen in 2003, at least not outside of China. The reasons for that that I'm hypothesizing, first off, is that China is in a much different economic position than it was in 2003 in terms of connecting itself with the global economy. So it was the virus was able to move itself out much more rapidly. But also with social media, we're also more aware of it, and the information is spreading faster. That is both good and bad. As hopefully you've seen, there's a lot of information on trying to help people out, but there's also a lot of rumors and fears and oh my god, everything's terrible. So I'm going to try to do my best to integrate real information as I understand it, and answer questions, and more importantly, integrate it into our course material, because what we're talking about now ties in directly with understanding how viruses work and how this virus specifically is doing what it's doing, and that is the magic of genetics. The point that I've been making to some of you is that while this is definitely a point of concern, that doesn't necessarily mean panic. There's a difference between being concerned and moving towards dealing with something and absolutely panicking about it. A metaphor that I've given is like fixing a sink. If you have a broken sink that's spraying water everywhere, clearly you need to fix it, because clearly some things are being damaged, but that doesn't mean you need to panic about it. It just means, okay, this is something we need to deal with. So right now, there's certain protocols that are in place locally as well as worldwide. They're serious, but because they're dealing with this situation. I'd be much more concerned if we were hearing a bunch of numbers popping up all over the place. This people's sick, this people's that, but we didn't have information about it and nobody was doing anything. So the fact that we're doing something, even if it's not ultimately not necessary, because it's nothing happened. It's the right thing to practice. And also there's this idea of survivorship bias, which is that even if, nothing happens, well, nothing may have happened because we did things about it. So don't think that it's a waste of time. Better to be safe than sorry. Age-old adage. We're used to it as humans. Right now on Schoology, I have a red folder entitled Coronageddon, Daily Agendas and Instructions for Distance Learning. In that folder is where we're going to have all of the agendas posted for what is going to be expected of you, both in terms of what the learning objective is, a summary of what the resources are, what the practice assignments are, and any both practice points and graded assessments. For what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be posting the agenda with links to everything, everything that needs to be referenced. Those files will also be in my regular folder, but mostly they'll be at least listed in one place so you can see one-stop shop. What is required? Where is it that I can find it? At this time, I do not have much experience in recording videos, so everybody's learning. That's good. As we go on, I'll explore doing recorded video lectures to go along with my PowerPoints. There'll always be static PowerPoints posted. But yeah, so we'll try some new things and see as we go. But I'm going to try to at least have a short intro like this for every agenda that gives you kind of a brief narrative of what I'm looking for, trying to tie it all together. What's really going to be interesting about this is, so I was already planning on starting genetics. This comes at a good time. I'm actually reworking my whole unit to kind of flip it around to talk about some of these upcoming things first, because because they tie in directly to what is happening right now in terms of like, what is DNA, how does it work, how does it connect to viruses. Normally I cover it at the end of the unit, but we're going to cover it now because then we're going to try to tie it together, because information is power, and having some understanding of what's going on will give you both hopefully better able to help your families understand the information, respond to advice from health professionals as needed, and generally just reduce fear. The only thing we have to fear is fear itself. Well, we also have to fear, mutating viruses. But human responses are always going to be better if we can communicate clearly and rationally, and runaway fear will reduce that possibility. So information and answering questions as easily as possible will allow us to fix this thing calmly and effectively without running around and just while everything continues to get worse. So look for evolving lesson plans as it goes, as I try to pull them together new things, and see what we come up with. Okay, point number 4. What are the overall goals that I'm looking forward to addressing in these next 5 sessions? So basically, what I've reworked things is, first topic that I want you to understand is what is DNA and RNA, which I've mentioned is a little bit similar to DNA in terms of its structure, and understand how they're used in the cell. Point 2, how does a normal living cell read DNA to perform cellular functions? Just like as we discussed in mitosis, like what is the normal situation? And then we're going to talk a little bit about what are viruses and how do they interrupt these normal cellular process? Like what do they do to basically hijack the cell to make the cell do what the virus wants it to do? So unlike in mitosis and cancer, where cancer is our own cells going wrong, in terms of viral infections, this is something from outside that can come in and interfere with our cells. There's a lot of interesting information about it. I've been giving a lot of resources to my AP classes. We're trying to build up to an understanding there, but I'll try to pull in things as I think are interesting as we go. Number 5, if you're in my A-Day class, you've already kind of gotten a sense of this. If you're in my B-Day class, you're getting this new for Tuesday, tomorrow, because today is 7 o'clock, Monday night right now. So what I want you to do, well, I have a short video from the video series I really like called Stated Clearly. I'm going to have a bunch more videos from them in this unit that they just put together really quickly about understanding not only what coronavirus is, but giving us a general introduction to viruses in general and how and why viruses mutate and evolve. Because a lot of this unit is going to connect back to our evolution unit, so we're going to see some of those themes re-popping up. So what I want you to do is watch the video and engage in the discussion questions by posting a comment in the discussion question assignment. I haven't done a lot of these in this class so far this semester or this year, so that's kind of new. But there will be graded practice points for engaging and answering the questions, and there will also be an opportunity for extra credit by going back and responding to your classmates, because we're trying to practice building, positive, collaborative, constructive discussion on these topics. Because if we have to be out of class for a long time, obviously we won't be talking face-to-face in a classroom setting a lot. I'm sure a lot of you are texting and insta chatting. I don't know what the kids are doing these days. Corollary to that, if you find any amusing or make any amusing coronavirus-related memes, appropriate memes, nothing racially sensitive and nothing, specifically, obscene. But I've seen some good ones out there so far. Don't just copy the ones off of Reddit. I'm already reading those. But if you make any and share them with the class, I'll post a folder or something about them. And then when we get back together, there will be work dollars in it for you. Like and subscribe. I don't really know how the YouTube works. And thank you to Heimdall for helping out. And please make sure to wash your hands.